continuing in our writing referenced from or drawn from our book, His Children Are Far From Safety. This is the continuation of that, part 2. So I don't have to do the usual introduction. Another quote from G.K. Chesterton. He writes, "Idolatry is committed not merely by setting up false gods, but also by setting up false devils, by making men afraid of war or alcohol or economic law, when they should be afraid of spiritual corruption and cowardness." Now the disadvantage of taking a quote is oftentimes the risk of missing the meaning or understanding maybe the larger context because you don't have it. But if we think about this, we are dealing with this particular quote. We're dealing with the call it presence or even the malady of fear. Fear. But then questions G.K. Chesterton, fear of what? What should we fear versus what do we fear? And so idolatry, can it be both the dual establishment or setting up of false gods as well as false devils? Well, it's something to think about. And as those above men, all mankind, the summary of Leviathan. As religion is only found in man, so seed must be in man. Men live always in fear, and make gods of things to praise and blame for their condition. All men have some great skill or ability, but when they conflict in their desires without an agreed sovereignty to rule them, their life is but a solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. There is a law of nature that every man protect himself, and this right they transfer entirely to the sovereign power, be it an assembly of men or preferably one man. A social contract is established, Leviathan or state, as a result of the desire for power, the pursuit of good, and the natural laws regarding protection of their own, amid fears regarding the mysteries or uncertainties of life. The leader of Leviathan is the sovereign, who protects mankind from the abuses of one another, and in doing so reduces their fears, perhaps reducing their habit of making gods. A living author and economist, Robert Higgs, notes the application of Leviathan is influenced by Hobbes' work. Whereas Hobbes describes the essence of the institution, the state, as protector, Higgs takes more of the scriptural description, or that of a massive, indomitable beast, again dealing with the fictional or the metaphoric or the fable form, again a massive, indomitable beast, or Colossus. In his article, Crisis and Leviathan, Observations Amid the Current Episode, he writes the following. Since the early 20th century, periods of real or perceived national emergency have been critical episodes in the growth of government size, scope, and power in the U.S. and in many other countries. Hence the concise conceptualization. Crisis and Leviathan, growth of government in the U.S. from the late 19th century to the late 20th century. And so we have it. What we have in this continuing letter, and I realize I just abruptly ended the letter, or this piece, or part 2 of the letter, but we'll continue, and we'll read more, and understand that it's that crisis for the state of Leviathan becomes an opportunity. It becomes an opportunity to grow, to expand, and to give the illusion, and let me emphasize here, to give the illusion of safety and security. There are, however, I might add, and not to define, but certainly to suggest, that there are ulterior motives.